You're back for more? Welcome. It's part 2 of our Shady performance review for the Golden Disc Awards, the most critically acclaimed award show K-pop has to offer, whatever critical acclaim even means these days. Because it seems like there isn't a single critical award show that isn't losing its credibility or ratings. Ouch, it's happening. I'm becoming jaded. Jaded AF. Let's just ignore the awards altogether and jump back into reviewing what matters, the performances. Thank goodness Chungha's mic is on right from the start. She said they always like to kill me with that playback, so I'm starting with this vocal segment, just in case you didn't believe I'm that girl with the vocals, not just the dance. A beautiful chandelier and outfit to match. Her voice has a smooth texture in studio recordings but always packs a lively punch on stage, when we're fully allowed to hear it, that is. The chorus of snapping is near the top of her vocal range, and she's dancing. That would make a lot of idols uncomfortable, but she pushes through it and executes every time, and I'm always impressed. Chungha is a clever live performer. She knows which parts to push the dancing, which parts to push her vocal, and which parts to let the playback take the reins. She actually saved her breath on the easy notes and sang the challenging notes live. LOL, most other idols do it the other way round. After all, playback is not the enemy. It can help you facilitate a better performance. The problem is when you rest on it your entire performance with barely any vocal effort, or use it to undermine your raw vocal entirely. Consistent quality matters, and Chungha has proved herself to be a standout of this entire award season. You and your team have a glass of champagne. You deserve it. Mamamoo meant business. As soon as I saw that catsuit and that cage, I did a double take. Solo was not playing, and neither was RBW's stylist. Come through. With melismatic vocals from Sola in particular, this was vocally great. Her mic was loudest and she let you know by singing her behind off. They made the dance step slick, gave that extra bit of sass, but throughout the performance the vocal never suffered. I loved the rock arrangement of Go Go Bebe for a live show. It took the performance to another level and made it feel like an award show. That is how you take a studio recording and elevate it for a stadium stage. It would have taken it even higher had the instruments actually been on stage being played by a band. But that's nitpicking. It already won me over. I'm entertained. When Hip started it turned into the standard M countdown performance from then on. But that's okay. This performance was still up there as one of my favorite of the night. And let's not forget Hwasa's cover dance to Kendrick Lamar's Love. It was atmospheric and moody, transitioning into Twit, and serving a raw live vocal with the microphone turned up to 10. She played to the crowd, served the face, the moves, and most importantly, the vocals. For me these were the best vocals by female idols the entire awards. New East's dance intro was decent, I guess. The choreography to these dance intros can sometimes feel recycled and stale, like we've seen it all before. But that's a curse of being in an industry where quality choreography is the norm, and becomes redundant unless you make the effort to stand out. As far as the vocals are concerned, what vocals? They were clearly more concerned with hitting dance steps rather than turning up the microphones. I only started hearing undeniably live vocals from each member once they walked onto the platform with the mic stands. A nice visual, by the way. It added some well-needed production value, and those vocals, when we finally heard them, that is, were exquisite. Absolutely. Pitch perfect, powerfully executed belts, and nicely delivered falsettos. This is where you hear the true power of Kang Dong-ho's live vocals, and suddenly this is an entirely different performance. It's a shame it only came 2 minutes before the end, because I was here for it. He is an amazing vocalist, and definitely a standout in today's scene, not just as a vocalist but one of the few male idols with such an unapologetically masculine persona. Something they often tried to demonize him for on Produce 101, but that's a whole nother video. That last 2 minutes saved this performance. And speaking of Produce, say what you want about the Corrupt series, one positive is that their platform saved New East from disbandment, and helped catapult them back to relevancy. Debuting in 2012, this group was once at rock bottom and is now thriving in Korea. They are K-pop's comeback kids. Claps for still being around 8 years later. Monsta X, excuse me, don't be so rude. Their tilted stage and smoke was a nice touch, definitely added some production value and atmosphere, but it went a little downhill from there. Their Barzy cover was smooth and classy, but lip synced from start to finish so I can't assess a vocal. So keep selling the audience that's ultra dance lol. The stage was simple and moody, and the 3-piece suits were a class act. And I guess you're allowed to drop expletives in your song when it's in English and a cover? I thought all the bad English words are the ones every student learns first. Or was that just me? Altogether I feel like most of these stages were thrown together last minute, and with a member down they seemed slightly less energetic than usual. But we're getting to the tail end of award season, so I guess everybody's burnout is kicking in. I can't judge the vocal because they didn't sing. It was a pre-taped vocal. But hey, nice outfits. We know they can serve a raw live vocal and serve it well. They just didn't feel like it today. But the most redeeming part of the stage was its diverse content, with different tones and moods, a journey through genres. I always used to see Monsta X as a bit one note, so it's been great to see them showcase how much they've diversified their brand. Here's hoping their 2020 won't be as rough as their 2019. I heard I-DLE was the talk of Korean social media after their performance. I can see why. The first 15 seconds alone have you completely captivated. I think they finally nailed the ethnic hip concept they were going for. They tastefully blended the concept of animal kingdom and female queendom, just as evoked in the lyrics of Lion. Question for Cube Stylist though, are these the same recycled outfits from Mamamoo 2018? Same color, same style, just saying. I don't get why Minnie dodged her note. Maybe she needed to catch her breath, or feared a voice crack, but she came back in and finished it off nicely seconds later. There's playback but it's not too loud, and the microphones are clearly on. Some members turned up higher than others, and this part and this member were very flat. It's a 2-note melody, easy right? The delivery was just flat, as a pancake. Just because they're simple notes, doesn't mean you just throw them away like that. 324 barely on pitch. You have to sing it all the way through, right till the end. Apart from that I heard hardly any mistakes in this performance. Well done I-DLE. This is a way to use simplistic staging effectively to evoke a larger sense of production value. Zico can't disappoint. He's a consummate professional. The background visuals truly amplified the performance. He played to the crowd and brought his own sense of personality. Check and check. Kim Jae-hwan sang a ballad and mid-tempo, both serving perfect vocals. What do you expect by the best vocalist in 101 by miles? He was even still vocally perfect with some light choreography introduced into his second song. They could have put a tad more effort into the staging, but Starship don't exactly have a history of fighting for their artists, do they? Catch the shade? He didn't even need 1% playback, but Starship still put some in there under his raw vocal. Why? He certainly didn't need it. It was completely pointless. Probably just Starship being lazy to arrange some BVs. Who am I kidding? They're always too stingy to hire BVs. Some backing dancers is all you get. So take this basic backing track, because that's all we got, and go make us some money lol. To most casual K-pop fans, they don't love Astro. They don't loathe Astro. They're just, kind of, there. And that describes this stage perfectly. The whole stage was pretty pedestrian if I'm honest. If Astro were trying to stand out from the crowd, they haven't succeeded. Having a decent song and dance just isn't enough anymore. This is 2020. Give us production value. Give us something unexpected. Give us something to talk about. Don't give us an excuse to check our phones because we're underwhelmed by this pedestrian performance. But let's be positive. Some notable positives were that pair choreo in the breakdown, and that spin. MJ would be proud. I'm not going to judge the live vocals and stamina, because there were no raw live vocals to judge. Oops, I said I was going to be positive, didn't I? Looks like I failed. Just like the stage failed to seize my attention. Twice. I like you. I don't want to be harsh, but you're gonna make me be harsh with that performance of Ice Cream. What the hell happened? I'm shocked how vocally unimpressive that was. They can do better, right? Onces, please tell me your objective opinions of the ice cream segment, because I couldn't get through it without making faces. Luckily there were other songs to divert my attention. On the positive side, what a great contemporary solo from Jihyo. This girl is the truth. She's not even dance line. Hoedowns, do you think JYP is pushing her closer towards solo debut territory? Let me know in the comments. The choice to weave in orchestral instruments paid off nicely. Vocals were stable through feel special and fancy, despite a slippery stage trying to derail them one by one. They were holding on for their lives. But this is the music industry and the show must go on. Vocally Twice shone brightest during Stuck in My Head. From riffs to belts Nayeon was on point. Falsettos. Great head voice from John Young and clear and resonant chest voice from Mamamoo. My only wish was for more live ad-libs as opposed to the backing track. I mean, can you hit it live or is it just studio magic? Just curious vocal critics want to know. But I heard enough for it to be the vocal highlight of all 5 Twice stages. And hey sound team, do your job and turn up Chaeyoung's mic. She's trying to serve raw live vocals. And you're trying to play her. She's not here for it. And neither are the fans. Just like no one is here for that slippery stage JTBC you tried it next case. Wait, you thought I was going to be biased and not discuss the negatives. Cis elephants never forget. And neither do frogs. And this frog was taking notes. The angelic fairytale-like stage and orchestra was a feast for the eyes during Twice's rendition of their ballad Ice Cream. It's just a shame the vocals weren't a feast for my ears. My oh my, that ballad suffered from pitch problems. My initial listen was just audio without visuals, and sloppy vocal techniques were laid bare. Nasal vocals, voices delivering thin and shaky notes, with little support or resonance. Pitch was all over the place. It would be perfectly competent for amateur singers, but underwhelming for professionals 5 years in the game. Frankly, I was surprised. I'm sorry, I'm a straight shooter and have to call out poor vocals when I hear them. Yes, some members were on pitch, but this was 8 professionals on a stage. You can't expect 2 or 3 singers to save the whole group. They should be a cohesive unit. Where's the teamwork? There wasn't even a complex harmonic arrangement to learn for this piece. It should have been relatively easy. There was nowhere to hide in his performance. It really exposed some of the obstacles the group faces vocally, specifically a weak spot in vocal control in this particular range. This piece needed about 3 hours more rehearsal than it got. K-pop vocal coaches like to prioritize stamina. But hey, crazy idea. What about training for perfect pitch, clarity, resonance, and control? Call me crazy, just putting it out there. Usually you will never be able to explain to me why you would need full playback to stand still and sing a piano ballad, but I'm actually glad there was some playback there to help Twice blur the blunders. On the same night, Janabi and Paul Kim delivered fantastic ballad vocals with 0 playback. Why do some idols singing ballads need it? To hide a lack of resonance and control. That's why. And onces can say their complaints for the JYP vocal coach because there's absolutely no explanation for vocals being this inconsistent on a ballad performance. Ouch. Overall, Twice delivered a mixed bag, but the highs of Stuck in My Head helped compensate for the blunders on Ice Cream. And that's the end of my Shady review.